Welcome to another one chart lesson. Smells Like Teen Spirit has been taught by a lot of people online. There's lots of really good tutorials about, but I couldn't find one that actually would help you play this on an acoustic guitar and sing it as well, which is not everyone's cup of tea, but if you want to try and do this, then hopefully this lesson will help you. And it's designed to give you a way to play this song sort of in its entirety on an acoustic guitar. So we're going to do a little bit of finger picking, a little bit of chords. The iconic chords at the beginning and during the chorus, not going to be much different. Now we're actually going to do this in our open E minor, which is a little bit different. The original key is in F. So if you want to be playing along with the original song, you want to have a capo on your first fret, and then everything on your one chart, which is downloadable for free, is the same. So our chords are E minor, A, G, C. Now we can use these as open chords, or we can do it as Nirvana did it, which is to use power chords. So power chords are simply bar chords, but using the first two notes of a bar chord. And if you're not familiar with bar chords, that's okay. You can do this song with just those four open chords. If you're going to play this song with bar chords, the first one will be an open E minor chord, if your capo's on the first fret, and you're going to go up to the A on the 5th fret, which is an E-shaped chord on the 5th fret, and again, just the first two notes out of that chord is all we need for the power chord. Then G on the 3rd fret, first two notes. The full G chord is an E-shaped chord on the 3rd fret. And then C is on the 3rd fret as an A-shaped chord. But to do a power chord version of that, obviously you're just using the A string 3rd fret and the D string 5th fret. So, open chords, E minor, A, G, C. Power chords, E, A, power chord, G, power chord, C, power chord. And of course you can do your C up here. On the 8th fret, that was. Okay, so the rhythm for this, most people get it right. It's, so you've got that chukka chukka, all right? Down, up, down, down, up, A. Two little down, up chukkas there, if you like. I'm going to call these chukkas, but you know. Down, chukka, chukka, A, chukka, G, G, chukka, chukka, C, chukka. Back to the start. So your chukkas on your chart are written as rows of X's. So you will see that it goes E, slightly longer one, two short ones, E, chukka, chukka, A, chukka, G, chukka, chukka, C, chukka. Okay, that's our intro and our chorus. As soon as it runs into the verses, or just before the verse as well, we're going to double up our bass line with what Kurt Cobain plays on guitar. So, you know, he's playing the two single notes to start with, which are just a B string, open B and open E. And remember, the real song would be up a half step, so your capo on the 1st fret, that's our real key. We're doing it in open chords, so. Now, our bass line is going to play 8ths. Now what I mean by that is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You're going to be doing that on your thumb. And you're going to be picking the guitar notes with your 1st and 2nd fingers. So we go 2 bass notes on the E, followed by those two, all as 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and. Then the bass goes up to A, and you can move over the string to the open A string here, but I think it's easier for what we're doing to play all our bass notes on the E string, because it kind of simplifies things, especially if you're planning on singing along with it. So you go 1 and 2 and, bass note goes up to A, 3 and 4 and. Then down to the G, 1 and 2 and. Slide up to 8 where the C is, 3 and 4 and we do that again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We go through that line on your chart a total of 3 times. Load up on guns and bring your friends. It's fun to lose and to pretend. She's overboard and self-assured. Oh no, I said a dirty word. Now where it changes, the bass line is still doing the same thing, but what we're doing is we're changing the top notes rhythm slightly. So it's going to be like this. We start with the bass and the B string. So the E string and the B string together. Again, all 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and. That's your first little section. 1 and 2 and. Get your fingers around that first. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. Then we move up to the 5, the A, and do it again. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. So it takes a little bit to get that rhythm together, so you're going to need to take it slow. Now, the bass note on your chart goes a bit more often than I was doing there. If you need to skip a note on your thumb in order to get the rhythm on the top notes right, do it. As long as it sounds good, right? Remember, we're making it a kind of an arrangement of this song. Get that sounding as smooth and as comfortable to play kind of on autopilot as you can get it, right? You do that line twice. So you do through that progression of E, A, G, C, a total of 4 times, which is that line twice on your chart. Then we head into the chorus. Big drum fill, which you can play over or you can stop and do a and then head into it. It's totally up to you. But when we're into the chorus, it's that. It's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us. Or on the open chords. When you do it with the open chords, you have to work a little bit harder to muffle those chords as soon as you finish strumming them. It's probably easiest to muffle it with your left hand, so you... But as you're doing the bar chords, it's a lot easier because all you have to do is release the pressure without taking your fingers off the strings, and it's muffled. So that's the reason why you'll see most people play this with bar chords or power chords at least, just for the kind of muting and cutting short of those chords. Head through that line 3 times. That's your chorus. At the end of the chorus, we come to this kind of crazy, noisy bit where it goes. So you're going 1 beat on the E minor, then 2 and F. Now you can do that F or you can do that F. It probably sounds a little bit weak if you do that F chord there. It sounds a bit nice, you know, too nice for what we're doing. So a power chord F there, which is 1st fret E string and 3rd fret A string, would be ideal. 1, 2 and 3, you stop, and the very next beat, grab the 2nd fret G string and just pull it up. It's a hard bend, but you don't have to do it very far. And you stop at the top of that bend. So then you go back down to the E minor, and you do this thing where, again, this is going to be really bar chord territory. So you go E, then F, back to E minor, A, G sharp, G, so, or A flat, you can call that, G sharp, A flat, same thing. And if you play that messily, it's all right. It sounds like noise on the actual original song. So don't worry about making it too neat. If it's too neat and clean, it's probably not going to sound as good. Okay, that's your little bit that comes after the chorus. I've called that the stops on your chart. At the end of that line, you see a DS, which if you don't know already means del segno, which means to the sign. The sign is that little symbol at the beginning of verse 1, up near the top of the chart on the second line. DS means go to the sign, right? So we head back up to the beginning of that verse and we go through another verse. At what I do best. Head through that verse exactly the same way. In the second section of that verse where it starts to ramp up, you've got that extra complex rhythm. This is probably the key to this arrangement of this song, is to get this bit down right. Into another chorus. At the end of that chorus, we have our then we head into the solo. The solo goes over the same chord structure, the same E minor, A, G, C, and what he does is he basically plays the melody that he's been singing beforehand, and he doesn't really stray from that. He uses a lot of distortion on his guitar, he plays it kind of messily, but he plays this rhythm out. Repeats that. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually made two versions of this one chart for you, for this solo in particular, because there is a way that you can actually do the solo in a fingerstyle, playing the bass line as well as the melody, but that's not for everyone, and so there's a version without this bass line in the solo, and there's a version with the bass line in the solo. Without it, as you've just seen, you go through that melody, repeat that twice. With the bass line added as well, you can actually step that through very carefully. It's a little tricky to get a hold of, but it's not impossible. Start with the E string, and you can either do a single bass note each time or a double bass note. I think a single one is easier, but if you get comfortable with it, maybe you want to put more bass notes in there. But starting off, so you can see it still follows the same E, A, G, C bass pattern, and it still does the same melody the same way using the open strings, but you can work your bass line in there as well, and it makes it sound a little bit more complete. After you've done that line twice, it goes to the next bit. So it starts with the 4 on the D string. Hello, 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 hello. Down to the 2 on the D string. Hello, 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 hello. exactly the same way with the fingerstyle version. You can keep playing that, and it has a really nice sound to it when you add some of these notes because they're a little bit dissonant. So with or without that bass line, you go through that line twice and then you're into the third verse. Verse 3 doesn't have our top notes happening in it, just for a little bit of dynamic variation, and because we've come out of the massive solo and chorus section, so we're just playing the bass. You do that line 3 times. You move into the second section of the verse. Into the end of that line, that second time, and then we're into another chorus. We do that line 5 times because he's really kind of, you know, that's the end of the song and we're just finishing out with the chorus. After that line goes through 5 times, end on the E minor. All right, so you're... Pretty much you can end it how you want, but that's, you know, that's close to how they do it. So, if you think you've got this song together now and you want to try playing through it in its entirety with me, click on the link below or the link up in the corner and it will take you to a play-along track where we'll go through this song in its entirety from start to finish. If you are happy to just to go and practice on your own, thanks for watching and see you next time.